Hi guys, so this was going to be part of the Fashion Fortnightly episode, but because the review became so long, I decided why not do a separate show on it altogether. What is the show? So I attended the Texpo 2-day fashion event in Karachi last week. And in case you don't know, the Texpo is an event that the TDAP holds frequently. It's the Trade and Development Authority of Pakistan. Texpo is a fashion event that they do, presenting value-added goods, which is fashion garments, to all the buyers and all the delegates who are visiting from all over the world. This is a custom that's been happening for 10 years. And while the show hasn't been very regular due to COVID or other circumstances in the country, it's always something to look forward to because we love fashion. And therefore, I went to the 2-day event, or I'm going to sort of recap that for you. I'm going to critique the collections very quickly because there were 21 collections, and I'm going to give some feedback on what we saw, how was it, the buzz, good, bad, critique, positive, negative, everything. So stay tuned. Okay, so starting with the show, it was held on the 26th and 27th at the Expo in Karachi. And I have to say that it was a very well organized event. 2 दिन का ये शो था और इसमें 21 designers ने showcase किया. Some big names in Pakistan, some new names, fashion students, some retail brands, high street brands. It was a nice combination of a lot. The show itself was एक तो मैं कहना चाहूंगी सबसे पहले ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को कि थैंक यू फॉर होल्डिंग इट एट एन एक्सट्रीमली प्रोफेशनल टाइम. द टाइमिंग्स वर इन द आफ्टरनून 4 साढ़े 4 बजे जब ये शोज होने चाहिए. पिछले कुछ सालों में हो क्या रहा था कि ये एक एंटरटेनमेंट गाला बनता जा रहा था दैट ऑल फैशन शोज वुड बी हेल्ड later in the evening at night and they would go on till midnight and it was ridiculous. So this was a great timing. The show started at 5, ended by 6:30 on a working day. So really good. The backdrop and the stage and the entrance lounging area, the lobby was very well organized. You stepped in and you felt good that, okay, you're back into a fashion space. So ये सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा था. And so kudos to the organizers for arranging that. Coming down to the collections, there were 21 collections over a span of 2 days. थोड़ा लंबा हो गया था. I think एक दिन में 8 collections से ज़्यादा नहीं होनी चाहिए. Show 4, give a break, and then show 4 more. So 11 plus 10 both days was a bit too much. But the good thing is that they were very fast paced. और ठक 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 करके आप कलेक्शंस देखते जा रहे थे. उनमें गैप्स बहुत कम थे, वेटिंग पीरियड्स बहुत कम थे. So ठीक है, हो गया. Within 2 hours, you could see it all. So I'll start with day one. I will not go into detail for every collection, but I just want to give you highlights of what I thought was good and what could have been better. So day one started and opened with Rizwan Beg, who's of course a huge name in fashion. And Rizwan is somebody, you talk to him, he knows his fashion. The collection I really liked. It was ivory, and the construction was the textile that he used. I could see a bit of jersey, there was cotton, there was viscose. He used a combination of different textiles. The collection had 19 pieces, which were all different. So that's the good thing. It wasn't like shalwar kameez or tunic trouser. There was a lot of variation. And I could see this working very well anywhere in the world. So Pakistan is a huge exporter of garments. And I could see that this was a collection targeting the export market and buyers would be interested. So good. The second collection was Adnan Pardesi, and he showcased a customized denim collection. I loved it. I loved the fact that, Adnan used a very lightweight denim in different shades of blue. There was simpler tunics, but then there were gararas, there were silhouettes that are indigenous to Pakistan. There was a lot of weaving of fabric, there was a lot of construction, there was a lot of variation in the silhouette. तो ये सब बहुत अच्छा था. स्टाइलिंग जो थी वो बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग थी कि उन्होंने सिल्वरवेयर इस्तेमाल किया और देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ सर्कुलर पीसेस वेदर इट वाज डिस्क्स और कॉइल्स और व्हाटएवर. और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि कहने की कोशिश डिज़ाइनर कर रहे हैं कि डेनिम ऐसा फैब्रिक है जो रिसाइकल हो सकता है. फैशन ट्रेंड्स जो हैं वो सिक्लिकल हैं. 20 साल पहले जो थे वो बार बार रोटेशन में आएंगे. सो ये बड़ी एक वीव हो रहा था थॉट प्रोसेस. थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा हो गई थी स्टाइलिंग मुझे लगा. So it could have been a little less, but on the whole, it was a really good collection. One thing, however, I do want to say is that Texpo की theme इस साल थी sustainable fashion, sustainability, weaving a future of sustainability. So unfortunately, denim is not a very eco-friendly fabric. It is not a sustainable fabric. In fact, it's very resource heavy. डेनिम जो है उसकी कॉटन बेस्ड है, तो उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में बहुत केमिकल, बहुत पेस्टिसाइड इस्तेमाल होता है और उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में बहुत वाटर कंजम्पशन जाती है. सो इट्स नॉट इको फ्रेंडली. सो दैट वे इट वाज अ बिट ऑफ you know kind of objectable that way, but visually it was a beautiful collection. And of course denim is a huge export for Pakistan, so it made sense कि चलो ठीक है आपने denim collection दिखा दी. Then there was J Dot. J Dot couldn't really leave a mark, unfortunately, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Next on the lineup on day one was Huma Adnan. Huma, as you may know, has been working with refugees settled in Karachi and Peshawar and the northern areas of Pakistan for a number of years now. And she develops a brand called The Craft Stories, which is earrings and neck pieces, belts, accessories, all of that. So the interesting thing is that Huma had developed several blouses, sari blouses, from those craft pieces. And I thought they were very interesting. It was a very interesting way of using craft in a garment. And that was the highlight of her show. She opened with a model who was surrounded by a cloud of what seemed like fuzz or fishnet or something. And that was one way of saying that, she's working with materials that are that come out of junkyards, that come out of the sea, the ocean. So it is reclaimed material, and in that way, it was a very sustainable, friendly collection. So that's a good thing about it. Sana Safinaz showed up next, and Sana Safinaz are a huge name in Pakistan. And of course, they know fashion and they do a high street brand as well. They have a high street label, they have couture, they have bridal, they have accessories, furnishings, everything. This collection was luxury pret और बहुत उन्होंने शुरू किया solid से, then they went into ivories, black and white, so a little bit of everything that they're making this summer. I felt that it was more tuned towards a buyer of luxury fashion more than a Texpo buyer, I felt. एक वक्त ऐसा था जब दुबई से और इंडिया से आपके हाई एंड फैशन बायर्स आते थे और जो आपके रिटेल स्टोर्स हैं, मल्टी ब्रांड स्टोर्स इन दुबई स्पेशली, वहाँ से बायर्स आते थे and they used to pick up consignments or collections from Pakistan because there's a huge market for Pakistani fashion in Dubai or in India, London, North America. बट यहाँ पे ऐसे बायर्स मुझे नज़र नहीं आए. सो लग्जरी फैशन दिखाने का क्या मकसद था ये समझ नहीं आया. कलेक्शन बहरहाल बहुत खूबसूरत थी और अगर इंडिविजुअल बायर्स थे जो कि पीपल हु वुड बी लुकिंग इनटू बाइंग formal wear for summer weddings or festivals or winter weddings, this was a good platform to see what the brand is making. Varda Salim did what she does best, which is color, and I absolutely love the jungle print, which is of course her own print. Variation of silhouettes and everything, wo tha, hits and misses, good, but on the whole, a pleasant collection to watch. Like I said, I love the jungle prints and I would totally wear them. And I think that they would go down well with buyers as well. One point that I have to say is that, in this new pool of models, I couldn't help appreciate the finesse and the poise that Fawzia brought to Varda's show. She was showstopper. She closed the show for Varda. And, Fawzia's been walking for years now. I still remember her first show, maybe not her first show, but the first show I saw when she was pregnant. And it was ages and ages ago. She's come a long way, but she walks like a model. And I think that she needs to groom some of the newcomers. So that was a highlight for me. That was followed up by Salt by Ideas. Again, not a great show. Didn't leave anything much to talk about. AIFD presented on the first day, that is the Asian Institute of Fashion Design. उनके students थे, उन्होंने collection दिखाई अपनी. कई pieces ऐसे थे, जैसे there was a poof jacket that you could deconstruct from every ensemble and you could say, okay, I would wear this piece or I would wear this beautiful jacket or this beautiful cape. But I have to tell the students that, less is more. And their collection was visually very messy. I understand that students are excited and they want to show their craft and their concept, all of that. but there also needs to be cohesion of thought. किसी भी एक garment में मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगा कि ये it's working as a whole, and it can also be deconstructed into different separates, and that is very important. So guys, pare it down a little bit. There needs to be simplicity of vision as well. वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. So I just felt that it was all over the place and not looking very visually appealing. M. Jaffarji's is a veritable leather brand in Pakistan. Unki export bhi bahut hai, so it made sense for them to show. It was a very clean collection. Their pieces are very solid. I've bought Jaffarji's over the years. I'm sure you all have as well. And they've gone from classic to contemporary with pops of color, new designs, weaving, different techniques. So again, a nice collection to watch. Aamna Haider also showed her luxury Pret collection, but it was a very clean collection. It was monochrome, mostly in black and white, with little puffs of very powder pink here and there. Again, would be more suitable for delegates or buyers who are looking into luxury fashion. I'm not sure whether there were any at the expo this year. I'm waiting for a list of buyers, but it was visually a good collection, maybe not suited for this platform. Deepak Bhavani closed the first day, and I love the disco era, and I love the beat of the clothes. I love the fabric, the bling, the shimmer. It looked good. The models walked well in it. It was very well constructed. And this is something Deepak does very well. He's always had an alliance with music. So it was nice to watch. And there were some pieces, the trousers, by the way, were very well constructed. There were some pieces that I could totally see people wearing. Again, is this well suited to an export fair? I don't know. But like the other luxury Pret collections, it looked good. Day 2 on the 27th started with Shamail. Unfortunately, I missed Shamail's show because there was a huge traffic jam outside the expo that day. It was a Saturday और मैं expect कर रही थी कि traffic बड़ी flow करेगी, लेकिन नहीं करी उस दिन. तो हम लोग फंस गए बाहर, and I missed the opening. But from what I saw in pictures, it's quintessential Shamail. There's a lot of romanticism in her clothes. I see a lot of turkey in her clothes. And, the combination of the very deep red and white was beautiful to look at. And again, a luxury Pret collection, but lovely to see. I couldn't see meme either, wasn't very impressed by what I saw in pictures either. The IVS, fortunately, I caught the end of, and it looked really good. So IVS is the Indus Valley School of Art and Architecture. उनके students ने भी ये display किया, और मुझे नजर आया कि IVS के students, are absorbed in the market, and I see a reflection of that aesthetic at places like Khadi, for example, where Chapter 2. So influence था definitely. So the students are working with textile and organic fabrics, cottons. There was layering, and it was clothing that I could see women wearing here in Pakistan and exporting very well abroad as Pakistani fashion. That is so important. So well done, guys. You did a good job. After IVS, we got Almira, and it was menswear. यार मुझे कलेक्शन बहुत अच्छी लगी अलमीरा की, बिकॉज उनके जो सिलुएट्स थे और जो उनका डिज़ाइन था इस साल का, इट वाज अ शॉर्ट कुर्ता with a very well constructed waistcoat, straight trousers, and a variation of textures, fabrics, and it was nice to look at. Very well constructed. I have to mention that I loved the energy that Rambo and his son Essen brought to the stage. They were closing the show for them, and acha tha. Again, these people, brands like Almira are huge in Pakistan, and they also have huge export capacity. So it's important for them to show. However, maybe they need to push the envelope a little bit, but it'll come with time, hopefully. The Pink Tree Company, I of course loved the show because it opened with a tribute to Tina Turner, and who passed away recently this weekend, in fact. And it was this Tina Turner soundtrack playlist. I loved it. Mohsin and the team at the Pink Tree, they collaborated with graphic designer Mahin Hussain, who we've seen work fabulously. I mean, she's so talented, and sorry that she's no longer working so actively, but I think she's getting back into it. So Mahin, keep it up. The collection was beautiful. It was colorful. The prints I loved, especially the scribbles, the hand scribbles that seemed like children's sketches. So really vibrant, lovely to look at. and very, very wearer friendly, export friendly, all of that. The collection moved into festive wear and traditional wear, which is what the Pink Tree does best, using craft and cotton and techniques different that make these garments so special. For me, that the second part kind of got lost compared to the first part because the prints were so vibrant, but together it really worked. And again, the tribute to Tina Turner had my heart. Very well done. After Pink Tree came Sanam Chaudhary, which I have to say was my favorite collection in these 2 days. Sanam is somebody who works with a very contemporary aesthetic, a very modern aesthetic. It was an extremely clean collection, cotton, tie and dye, which she calls clamp and resist technique. I don't know if they're the same, but I think it is. It was beautiful. The palette was lovely. There was a pale shade of lilac with a burnt orange, yellows, pinks, anything that you would associate with summer. The silhouettes were beautiful resort wear. I could see anybody wear any one of these anywhere in the world. So huge export potential in those designs. Whether these designers can manufacture for export is another story altogether. But at least in concept, it looked really, really good. Sadly, I had to leave after the Sanam Chaudhary show. I couldn't stay for the last 4 shows, but from what I saw in pictures, Diners was not impressive. Unfortunately, neither was TIP. Tip was followed by Sparta and Athletics, which is athletic wear. And again, a huge market for that in Pakistan, export. And export hota bhi hai. यहाँ से बहुत सारा sportswear export होता है. So very, very important for them to show. And but again, nothing was really out of the box from what I saw. It could have been a little more exciting. Ali Zishan came in from Lahore to close the show on day 2, and Ali did what he does best. There was a lot of energy in his show. There were a lot of different garments that had different themes to them, and some gimmickry. I loved the print, which seemed like Ali's self printed all over. Maze ka tha, and I missed some kind of a cohesion in the show, though. It was kind of all over the place for me. मुझे नहीं पता कि इसकी रिटेल या एक्सपोर्ट पोटेंशियल क्या है इन कपड़ों की, but it was exciting to see the pictures. So that's a roundup of the 2-day event. As far as the lineup is concerned, I have more to say though. Guys, while it's great to have these events, and never ever in this day and age, especially when things are so tough around us, would I say कि events नहीं होने चाहिए, बिल्कुल होने चाहिए. और ये एक बहुत अच्छा event था. It was well organized, it was well positioned. I could see that जो Texpo fair चल रहा है, उस weekend जो चल रहा था, there were a lot of delegates around. So इसी तरह value addition होगी, इस तरह exports बढ़ेंगे, ये बहुत important है. Plus दूसरी चीज़ है कि जब event होता है, fashion event भी होता है, so thousands of people get employed for these events, whether they are the models or the choreographers or the makeup artists or the teams and the technicians, the bouncers, the ushers, people who are doing the lights, people who are doing the music. It's very important for that money, those funds to stay in rotation. So it's important to have events, and this was a good event. Having said that, some things need to be looked into. Pehli baat hai, let me just talk about the models very briefly. I think it's been a long time since models were used to doing runway shows. और अब का जो नया pool है, because most of them were new faces, I haven't seen them before. Maybe they're doing print, but print is very different from runway. Runway में we can't afford to have ungroomed hands and feet, which unfortunately we did see. 10-20 साल पहले हम लोग कहते थे कि यार प्लीज कोई मॉडल्स पे बॉडी मेकअप इंट्रोड्यूस कर दे, और हुआ भी था. इस दफा नहीं नजर आया, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. ये चीजें प्रिंट में फिक्स हो जाती हैं. When pictures go into Photoshop, they can get fixed. You can fix a color tone, you can fix body makeup, unkempt hands, feet. You can't fix it on a runway. So models need to be groomed better. They need to be toned better. And unfortunately, it was a pretty lackluster pool. Not all of them could walk properly, and it was an unimpressive pool of models. एक बात. दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि of course हम sustainable fashion की बात कर रहे हैं. तो other than Huma, who used a lot of recycled handmade materials for show, and Parisha Adnan, who I actually forgot to mention in my lineup. Parisha also works with old Amir Adnan pieces to what do you call it, pre-loved clothes to make new collections. So that's also important. Please, guys, run pictures from Parisha's show here. So, other than those two shows, or maybe one or two more, I didn't see sustainability anywhere in the show. The third thing is, and the last most important thing is that, has Texpo generated interest in Pakistani fashion? That's important. And I'm sure it has. I'm still waiting. It's too soon to get numbers or names of all the buyers who were there. We did see some in the front row both days. I would love a list of, buyers who were genuinely interested in Pakistani fashion. And if any orders were placed for any of the collections that we saw these 2 days. Because at the end of the day, इस इवेंट का मकसद क्या है? इस इवेंट का मकसद है कि जो बायर्स आए हुए हैं बाहर से, वो उनको कलेक्शंस पूरी पसंद आए या एक पीस पसंद आए या बिट्स एंड पीसेस पसंद आए, फिर वो ऑर्डर करें और पाकिस्तान से वैल्यू एडेड गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट हो सकें. तो वो फैसिलिटेशन जो हो रही है टेक्सपो में, आई एम वेटिंग फॉर डिटेल्स ऑन दैट. इंशाल्लाह जैसे ही मुझे मिलेंगे आई विल शेयर देम विद यू. And yeah, that's more or less it. Yeah. So, when I thought about Expo, I'm now a digital journalist. So मैंने कहा कि अब लिखने से बेहतर है मैं इसका video review कर दूं. So I hope that this made sense to you. And it was backed by pictures. Which collection did you like best? What do you think should improve in an event like Texpo? Does it make sense to you? And yeah, do drop your feedback in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, do so and look out for more videos like this one in the future.